you got the time, I'd like to stay a while. Do you remember what I said last time we met? Would you like to move a little closer now? I'd like to be as close to you as I can get. If I could stop the time, I sure would. In this moment, I really wish I could. Do you feel the same way as I do? The feeling of just knowing that I love you. If you got the time, I'd like to stay a while. I'd like to fall asleep beside you on your bed. If I could stop the time, I sure would. In this moment, I really wish I could. Do you feel the same way as I do? The feeling of just knowing that I love you. If you still got the time, I'd like to stick around. I'll make some coffee, let's take a walk down to the sea. As the sun goes down, we light a fireplace, and we can stay as long as we want to, you and me. If I could stop the time, I sure would. In this moment, I really wish I could. I hope you're feeling the same way as I do. The feeling of just knowing that I love you. If you got the time, I'd like to be with you forever in this state of happiness with you. Forever in this state of happiness with you.
Well, hello there, Plannerettes. Thank you so much for joining me this week for the new week of June the 24th to, is it already July at the end of this week? No, still 30th of June. Wow. The end of this week, let's finish. June will be finished and it'll be July. Thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate you all being here. If you are here in the live chat, make sure you say hello. And let's see who's here. I saw Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. Nice to see you. And May, hi. Happy new week, or for a lot of you, happy Sunday afternoon or evening. I am here in Sydney, Australia, where it is 5:30 a.m. That's right. Nice. And new week, new beginning. Let's go. Angela, hello. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. Now, today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my July monthly cover page in my A5 Filofax planner. And at the same time, I want to have a little bit of a conversation with you about if you're feeling disappointed or feeling of inadequacy, where you felt like, oh, I'm not good enough, and how you can overcome them. So I firsthand last week felt that way, and then later as we go through the live, I'm going to show you how I overcame that and how I processed my feelings. And so hopefully you can find some value in that if you have felt disappointed, and later on if you do feel these feelings and go, what did Marianne say again on how to process these feelings or how to manage them? So I do hope that you can find value here today. So let me quickly show you my desk. Here we are. This is the A5 Filofax Molden Organizer in the pink. And I am going to flip over to my July monthly cover page. So here it is. Now, this is a free printable download that you can get from my website if you sign up to my newsletter. So if you don't know where that is, it is at mariannecrest.com. So later after the live, go on, pop on over there, sign up to my free weekly newsletter. Now, if you are already a subscriber, you would have received an email, would be maybe your Thursday, my Friday, or around about that time. So do check your inbox because there is the link to download this. It is an A5 PDF, but all you got to do to print it in a Happy Planner Classic size or a letter size is just change the paper size in your printer setting. So do let me know in the live or in the comment section if you are watching on replay if you have this copy already. So if you're like me, I like to have cover pages for the new month. Let me show you the current one for June. So this is June, and the tiny little block, you've got June, 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 June. And of course, guess what's for July? July, 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 July. Okay, let me just pop that back. See? July, 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 July. Okay, so you can get this as a free printable download. So what I want to be able to do by the end of this video is I want you to be able to have something similar to this cover page. So these little sketches or doodles of roses and different type of flowers is inspired by Soph of Soph Martins on Instagram. So do check her out. She's got a lot of different ideas on how to create different floral effects. So then you can keep your cover page just a simple block if you don't have time. That's why I have made this available as a freebie, because I want you to be able to have, if you do like to have cover pages for your planner pages in your planner, whether you're a ring planner, disc bound, or even in a notebook bound planner or journal, you can print it, cut it to size and glue it as a front cover. But if you did want to embellish it a little bit more, these were inspired by Soph Martins on Instagram. Okay, so what I did is I printed mine on the cover page of my planner bundle printable download. So let me quickly have a show. So normally the planner bundle will just have the dotted cover page. So then that way you can embellish it whichever way you want. And then in the printable download, it already has a calendar. So I printed mine ready for July because I want to be a little bit more ahead of the game rather than printing my planner pages, the night before the new month begins. So at least I've started printing my printable download. So it has a calendar. It has a habit, mood, and sleep tracker spread. And then it has 5 weeks worth of well-being planner page as well as a weekly spread. So you get enough for 5 weeks. So whether the month has 4 weeks or the 5 weeks, you will have enough planner pages ready to print out, ready to go. And the great thing with the printable download is you just buy it once and then you can print as many times as you want. And then at the back, we have a dotted spread for gratitude log, because if you have been here with me for a while looking for positive things in your day, what you're grateful for or what you're thankful for, so what you focus on, you will start to spot it more often. So there is a space there where you can go and note down gratitude, what you're thankful for, maybe victories or wins of the day, and then the back just a dotted page for you to write anything else down along the way. So that is my printable download. So let me quickly have a look who else is here. So, hello, Chucky Carter. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Lauren, how are you? You look fabulous. Thank you. I straightened my hair. Although my hair, Filipino hair, is already actually quite straight. But I straightened it because you know how sometimes when it hits your shoulder, you get that little bit of a wave. So I did straighten my hair. So thank you so much for noticing. Hello, Erin. Nice to see you. So happy that you are here with me today. That's right. Get ahead. And what are we thankful for today? Exactly. Always ask that question, especially when you are feeling a little bit low, when you are feeling a little bit down, and then all you seem to spot are all the things that might be going wrong. And that is us actually the theme of today's plan with me. So not only am I going to go and do some setup for with you, but I just want to talk through, because I know sometimes when you work so hard on whatever project you have, and then you're so excited, you release it out there, you've done it, and then suddenly it didn't the outcome wasn't as you expected, or maybe you've had a slow start to it, and then you start to question yourself whether was it me, is it something I've done. So today we're going to talk about the different ways you can overcome feeling of disappointment and inadequacy. All right, so before I go and do that, what I want to do is show you, I'm going to be using the Pilot Friction Colors markers. So you can use any markers you have. Get your kids' markers from their school pencil case. Anything with a nice fine point is really good. And then I'm also going to be using the Pilot Felt Tip drawing pens. I have it in a 0.8 and 0.5. So then the thinner nib I'm going to use for the smaller outlines. So let's have a look. So remember, what we want to come out with is something like this, where we're going to draw these beautiful little floral designs using our colorful markers, and then the black outline is your felt tip pen. All right, so let's quickly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit different. So screenshot this, screen grab this page now. So if you want to go and have a look what ways you can do it, and remember, you don't have to use my printable download, but you can use just a blank piece of paper. So there's two different ways, and let me show you the way I'm going to do mine. So grab whatever colors you want for the floral. So I'm going to keep the green one for the leaves. And so instead of having the flowers around the J of July, I'm just going to go around and put some on top of the J itself. And all you do is you just start out making these little spiral circles in different sizes. So let's do that one, and let's pick up another one. So I'm going to try and draw and talk at the same time. So if I pause and then there's a little bit of silence, it's probably my brain's going, Marianne, you can't do two things at the same time. So let's have a look. And then I do have if I look to the side, it's because I have my little reference of how I want this page layout. All right, so while I'm doing this is I want to talk about how I've had feeling of disappointment, and then I didn't know how to get over it. It was just eating me up. I felt like the day was going to be my whole day was just going to be that feeling of I shoulda, woulda, coulda, Marianne, you're not good enough. And so it was just like, what do I need to do? And then, of course, because I have my planners and my journals, I turn to my morning journal habit. So one of the things that I want to make sure that if you are feeling this way is utilize your journals and your planners. And you don't have to have the pretty planners. You can just buy any little old notebook where you're just going to scribble things down, scribble down your thoughts. Because what happens is if we keep it inside our head, it's just going to fester in there, and it's just going to keep bouncing around. And then you're just going to have a difficult time moving past that feeling of disappointment, that feeling of inadequacy, because that's all you're hearing inside your head. You're not good enough. Oh, you should have done this. You should have done that. See, I told you you wouldn't be good at it, right? So it's your chatterbox, that little inner thought that keeps you down sometimes if we don't, keep it at bay. So one of the things that you need to make sure you try and do is grab your pen, grab your favorite pen, grab your favorite paper, and then start writing down things. The first thing that I need for you to do is to acknowledge how you're feeling. Okay, so start by writing out, the feeling of disappointment, and be really candid with yourself. Don't stop yourself from writing it down. Make sure that you're just writing it without any judgment, right? And if you're like me, honestly, like I can swear like anybody else, but I make sure I keep my page here on YouTube and on Instagram nice and clean. But oh man, I can swear quite a bit on in my journals. So be really open about how you're feeling, and then describe what happened, what led to that moment of disappointment. So write it down, from the beginning to the end. This happened, and I thought this and I thought that, and then this happened, and then now I'm feeling all disappointed in myself. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? Get those inner chatter thoughts down on paper, because once it's down on paper, you have the ability to be able to look at it in a better light. And then you've removed yourself away from it. Okay, so I'm just having a look here. What else? Maybe let's do some more here. Okay, so just draw different size circles. So these are going to be for your flowers. Okay, so when you're acknowledging your feelings, really be honest about it. That's the first step. They always say the first step to a solution is being aware, knowing how you're feeling. And don't judge. Don't say that's a good or bad feeling. Just write it down. So you can have on your journal, the prompt could be, I feel really disappointed because this situation made me feel like I'm not worthy, made me feel like all that work that I did didn't account, the outcome wasn't what I expected. So make sure that you are acknowledging it, write it down, get it out of your head and down on paper. Okay, so that's the first step in overcoming feelings of disappointment or inadequacy. Okay, so just when we get to the next step, before we do, let me go grab the green one. So the green one's going to be your little leaves. Okay, so have a couple of little leaves around the circles you've created earlier for what's going to be your flowers. Okay, so let me quickly have a look at the chat. Hello, Erica. Nice to see you. Thanks again for this weekly space. Pride Heart, yay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Jennifer says, I feel upset with myself because I didn't get all my tasks complete. Yes, and because we have such high esteem for ourselves, right? Because here we are, we're creating positive talk. We're going to do this. We have our planners. We create all these things to do. And because we have a goal, we have our dream, we have our vision of what we want our, whether it's work, family life, our health, our physical well-being. We have a picture, because remember, for us to move from where we are to the goal is we've got to create that picture, and then we take the steps towards that, and then we take the steps towards that, and we sometimes go, I took the steps. Why haven't I, the outcome already happened. And so exactly, you do feel a little bit deflated when sometimes you don't get to complete the tasks that you do. All right. So the next thing to do when you have acknowledged how you're feeling and all the steps that led towards it is the next thing is we're going to reflect on the positive. All right, so this may be a little bit hard sometimes because you go, what? here I am. I've just talked about all the different negative feelings that I've had, and then now, how am I supposed to go look at the positive things, right? So the way to do that is, even if what happened didn't go in your favor, it's important that we reflect on what did go well. So maybe things like, what, I wouldn't have done this before, or I'm so proud of myself that I actually took the risk. Or, for example, in Jennifer's case, the Creator Classroom, what, I didn't get to do the 6 of the tasks that I have listed, but I did 5, I did 4, I did 3, and just say you only did 3 because maybe you had to do something else, or your time was taken away to do other tasks, or you were called away. Looking at the positive of the other side of disappointment will help you, again, looking for that positive, because things like this is not a failure. It's a learning opportunity. What can I learn from it? Bear with me for a second. Right? So we need to look at the positive, because from what I said, it's not a failure, it's a learning opportunity. So, for example, maybe, you could go, all right, next time I'll make sure not to put too much on my to-do list if I know something will be coming up, or give that buffer, right? So when I create goals for myself, I create things like, let's say working out. So for me, working out in the moment is one of my top priorities. So one of the things I want to do is, I want to work out, instead of saying working out 7 days a week, which I know I won't be able to do. And if I don't achieve that, I'm going to be disappointed because I put it on my list and everything else. So put a range. Instead of saying 5 days a week, maybe do 3 to 5 times a week, or 4 to 6 times. Or, if you're going to, for me, who's a content creator, maybe say, I want to get and upload a video by Thursday, no later than Saturday. So you give yourself that buffer to allow that, when life happens, when life throws curveballs at us, right? So be mindful that, okay, I didn't do it this time, but next time, what I've learned from this circumstance is, I'm not going to be so hard on myself if things don't work out right away. But I learned how to use this. I learned how to, work with some other people in my at work. I was able to accomplish a new skill, right? So that is a great way to reflect on the positive things that come out of any disappointment or feelings of inadequacy. And write about it, write about the effort you put in. I wouldn't have been able to do this, but I am so proud of myself that I took the risk. I'm so proud of myself that I learned a new skill that I had been putting off for so many months, for so many years. Or I'm so proud of myself that I was originally scared of, taking the plunge of, let's say, learning, meeting new people. Maybe you met new people, and then it's like all you did was you stood in the corner of the room and you felt disappointed because you didn't get to talk to a person, or whatever it is. But the positive thing is, you put yourself out there, right? So reflect on the things that you did, what you did to prepare for such a task, and also any other things that have made you, personally grow. All right. So a prompt in your diary or in your journal could be, I am proud of myself for doing this, for doing that, and I did well in, writing 5 pages for a report for our work. Whatever it is, look at the positive aspects of the experience itself. Okay. So acknowledge your feelings and reflect on the positive. Okay. Let's have a look. Jennifer says also reckons there were 2 days that were full. And don't forget to like the stream. Yep. Thank you so much, Jennifer. All right. So making sure we're reflecting on the positive. All right. So now let's go back a little bit to our July monthly cover page. So we've drawn these bigger circles, which is going to be our flowers. So all you do, create swirls and swirls and swirls on the page. And then I use the green marker for tiny little leaves. So first I'm going to grab the 0.8 nib felt tip. So if you don't have any felt tip, just use any black ink you have. What I would suggest is maybe wait until the marker itself, the ink dries, because then if it's still a little bit wet, and then you put either whether it's with felt tip markers, felt tip pens or pen, sometimes if the ink is still wet, then you putting the black ink on top the ink may not flow as well. So we're going to do the first one, and the way Soph from Soph Martins, which this drawing is inspired by, again, that's her Instagram page. She has lots more different floral drawings, and so I can't wait to actually use more of those in my own planner pages. So the first one, sorry, I've got lip balm and my hair's sticking to it. So the first one, what I'm going to do is create a rose-like pattern. So all you do is go around, create your circle just like that, and then we're going to create a line this way, and so like triangular patterns. And then I'm going to go slowly. I'm going to do this a few more times so you can slow the video down. And what really this sort of represents is like the petals of a rose. And then you can just go in the middle, swirling like that. So see how that looks like a closed rosebud. And then so that's one. And then the other one is create a little black dot in the middle, and then create just 5 petals. So this doesn't have to be precise. And that's the great thing with sketches or doodles like this, is because you can create beautiful sketches on there, and then you might go, oh, look at that. For me, old me might have gone, oh, look, they're not all even, and one went over the other. But that is the point of, see, there's that disappointment. The positive thing I can reflect on with that is I've never tried this before, and then now I'm able to, so I have learned a new skill. All right, so then again, we'll do this one again as a rose. So go and create a circle pattern. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. That's probably a little bit better. And then just draw a line, and then you're just doing sort of like a little triangular pattern in the middle until it goes in the middle, and just create a little swirl. All right, so while I'm keep drawing this, and hopefully talking and drawing at the same time doesn't wreck my drawing, but that's a learning opportunity for me. Okay, so then let's go have a look. So the next thing to do when you are feeling those emotions of disappointment or inadequacy is looking for the learning points. All right, so what have I learned from this experience? So let me just draw this. Okay, so consider again, what things have I learned along the way, right? So always look for, what are we doing here? We're doing the one with the 5 petals. Okay, I did the circular thing. That's all right. See, I did the circular. What I'm going to do is I might do that here, so then it's see, the perfectionist in me is trying to come out and making it the same, but that's okay. All right, so learning points. Consider what you've learned from the experience. All right, so every situation, before I used to think when things don't work out the way I wanted to, I used to think that that's a loss. that time is gone. I can't get it back. What a waste of time, right? But now I myself am slowly learning that, hang on, the outcome may not have been to what I wanted it to be, but what have I learned from it? Right. So every situation, even the ones that you think failed or the ones that you were disappointed of, can provide a lot of good lessons. Right. Oh, you will find those lessons if you actually go and look and reflect on positive things. Because if all you see is disappointment, or that you're not good, or you shoulda, woulda, coulda, you will never see a learning point from it. And that's why it's so important to journal your feelings, acknowledge them, and see how you can learn from them. So what you do is write things that experiences that you can take away for next time. What might help me in the future from learning this? See, later on, I'm going to show you how I did this in my own morning journaling and writing my feelings down. There's actually so many things I can learn from it, but I would not have known any of these learning experiences if all I saw was negativity. All I saw was disappointment. If all I saw was that I was no good, that you should have done better. See, I knew, Marianne, it wouldn't work out. If those were the only things that I was focusing on. So for when you're looking for learning points, the things to write about, a prompt could be, from this experience, from today, what did I learn so then next time I can or I will? Okay, so again, so far, ways to overcome your feelings of disappointment or feelings of inadequacy. Number one, acknowledge your feelings. Being aware of how you feel and what led to that feeling will allow you to solve and learn from it. Reflect on the positive. What can you take away that's the great thing? Right? And then looking for learning points. All right. So that's 3 things so far that we can easily do. And, and it's so easy when we write it down. So allow for time that you can journal about this, right? Because if you let it fester in your head, I will tell you from experience, it can eat you up, and it'll just like a domino effect, right? If you think negative, 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 and then that's all you see. But if we change it around and look for learning points and positive, then you'll start to see those. What you focus on is what you're going to see more of. Okay. So Jennifer says, I learned that when I need a break. I should take breaks because I can't accomplish what I need on empty. Exactly. So what happens if you don't schedule in your breaks is you will be forced later down the track, either by exhaustion, by burnout, by being ill. So don't think that breaks is things that you should do as an afterthought. It should be part of the plan. It should be part of your to-do list, right? So really important that scheduling in your break is an important part of being not only productive, but as part of your own well-being. Erica says, step 3 has been key for me, assessment. The answers are within, right? Exactly. And it's when I did this exercise myself after that moment of disappointment where I was just like, I couldn't get rid of it. I had that lump in my throat, and that tight chest feeling, and your heart rate is just so fast. And all you think is, every little thing, then you just go, oh, what will they say? Oh, why hasn't it, the outcome hasn't been to, what I thought it would be, right? But then when you stop, and as you said, Erica, is that assessing the situations. Because if we dig beyond that negativity and feelings of disappointment, you'll find the gold, you'll find the diamond. Oh, you know what, Marianne, you actually did a lovely thing. You learned new thing. You wouldn't have done this 2 months ago. This is not something you would have done 6 months ago. Or this is something that you've dreamt of for so long that but was too scared to do. I love that, Erica, assessing it and looking. You might have to dig a little bit more than you would normally, especially if you have the habit of being disappointed all the time and then not digging or assessing for the good things in it. So it is a practice. It's something you have to do over and over again. And it's not just feeling of disappointment or inadequacy, other feelings. You know, you can do exactly the same thing for feelings of happiness, joy, excitement, anxiety, overwhelm, stress, right? Why am I feeling this? So I love that. All right. So let's just quickly go back. So I still have my 0.8. So this one is going to be a rose. So little triangle. Doop, 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 doop. And then we're going to do this one as a little 5-petal flower. And I'm just going to do that because I want it to look the same. All right, so there we go. You can pick any color you want. If you have a color theme for the month, use those colors. And then for the little green spirals, I'm going to use the 0.5 felt tip. And then you're just going to create little leaves. You can make your leaves pointy, you can make it rounded, and then just create those little veins on the leaf, and then just go around. So again, this is inspired by Soph of Soph Martin's on, and she has some good reels showing you how to do these different things on your planner pages. Right, you can join the leaf to the flower. And let's do one more here. Okay. So then that looks so good so far. And then what she did is then, so just to fill up some negative space, is she just got the black ink and just create little spirals. So it's like other little floating, little tiny, maybe this could be what are they? Baby's breath, you know. So little flowers. This could represent little buds. You can make big ones. You can have some floating here and floating there, right? So then there we go. So you can leave it as is. What I'm going to do is I might create a little border around mine. And so I might create some more little flowers over here in the corner. So grab whatever markers you have, maybe a little one here and a purple one there. Grab your green for the leaf. Doop, doop. Right, so you don't just have to use these little drawings in a cover page. You can then use it, you know, to embellish your weekly page in the corners. You know how sometimes the margins of your planner pages, you may not be able to fit in a washi tape. You know, you can use the little ones for the corners. So here I'm going to use the 0.5 because it is a smaller one. So this one I'm going to use a rose. So little triangle here, and then this one, a 5-petal flower, and then same with this one here. So see, today we get to learn how to do little rosebuds by just creating swirls on the page. This one, I just did something there. All right, so what do we do next time? So the next thing we can do to overcome our feelings of disappointment, inadequacy, is now we're going to reframe our negative thoughts. All right, so if you've got those thoughts in your head and they just can't seem to leave you alone, right, we need to now go challenge it. So as Erica said, we're assessing for and looking for, dig deep for the positive things and the learning opportunities. Now we're going to try and reframe those negative thoughts. And that's what we can do is, okay, I am disappointed with myself because I thought things would work out a certain way. I feel inadequate because I didn't do everything that I said I would. So instead of saying I'm not worthy, you might write, I did my best and that's what matters. I tried something new and I accomplished that. I did 3 things today or last week when I had other things to manage, right? So look at the negative and turn it into a positive. This didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but now what I've done is I've learned from the experience. So when I do this again, these are the things that I need to look out for. So a prompt that you can have for your morning journaling is a negative thought I have, or I'm feeling like a failure because of this. However, I have learned so much from this experience. See how turn the negative into a positive. And again, by focusing or by putting your mind on certain things, you will start to see more of it. It's a practice. So if you feel like, Marianne, I can't see anything positive thing from this, especially, feelings of sadness, feelings of grief, don't be hard on yourself. So don't force it, because there's certain things that it may take time to see any light from it. Right? Don't think that, I'm a failure because I can't even turn this negative thing into a positive. Right? Sit with it. Do not be hard on yourself. So it's very important. Try and reframe those negative thoughts into something positive. And if you are unable to, what you can do is, let me just quickly, is practice self-compassion. Okay, don't be hard on yourself. If you go, Marianne, this exercise itself is bringing me anxiety, having to face my own feelings and be confronted with my own thoughts down on paper is such a difficult thing for me to do, because I am forcing myself to see all the things that, when you're acknowledging your feelings, be kind to yourself. If it's not something you can do right now, maybe it's just time for you to sit with your feelings for a little bit longer and not do anything about it. Give yourself time to be angry. Give yourself time to be disappointed. Give yourself that little bit of time to go, I just F things up, I'm like, I'm not good at this, right? Let it out. Because those repressive coping mechanism of, I'm just going to keep it all in, those are the things that's going to drive your anxiety and anxious thoughts and low moments and low moods. By them being in there can actually make it worse. So give yourself a little bit of compassion. Write yourself a letter and say, Marianne, I know how you feel. It is quite a crappy thing to have to go through when you've done all these work. I know it. I feel it. And acknowledge your effort. Marianne, but you did such a good job. You took, it took you 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 days, whatever it is, to do all these work, and you've accomplished so much. And of course, it's okay to feel disappointed, if it didn't turn out the way you want. But Marianne, the outcome doesn't define who you are. Just because what you didn't work out, that doesn't mean you as a person is a disappointment, that you as a person is a failure. That's just your actions. You know what you can do with your actions? You can do it again. But just remember, give yourself a little bit of compassion. Write yourself a little letter. In my late teens, I think I did it in my tweens as well. I wrote myself a letter, or actually, I wrote a letter to whoever, maybe it was probably more unrequited love, to that boy the boy I liked at school. I poured my heart out onto a letter that I never sent, right? And you can do the same when it comes to writing yourself a little letter of compassion. You can say, "Dear Marianne, I know you're feeling this, but remember, you are worthy, you are loved, you are loving, you are great at things." Okay, so make sure you are kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. And trust me, I have beaten myself up for so many years, and it starts today. Don't beat yourself up for the previous years that you weren't good at stuff. Starts the day that you show yourself a little bit of compassion. Erica says, step 4. Step 4 was a hard one for me. It really is a constant practice. What worked once was a gratitude list, but over time it stopped working for some reason. So I adjusted it recently to state what I want to experience, and that helps me get out of a beat up mode. This is a great thing to point out, Erica. All right. Sometimes the things that we do over and over again, well, it may lose its effectiveness, right? Because we've done it over and over. That's why it's really a great thing to change things up. So, what may have worked last year, last season, last month may not work this season, because you are a changing being. So what you need to do is also need to change things that will help support you, right? So even like, here's an analogy that I just thought of, right? So you get new running shoes, new pair of shoes, the sole of it, and then the inserts are all really great. It helps support your arch when you're walking, you're running, but over time, it loses its buoyancy. It gets to, so what do? You replace the pair of shoes. It's the same way when it comes to our planning. It's the same way to how we treat the things that help support us. Habit tracking, well-being planner pages. That's probably why us as planners are always, or me anyway, constantly changing the different planner setups, because what works today may not necessarily work the tomorrow or the next day. So I love that you pointed that out, Erica, that change things up. Really, really important. Yes, Marianne, we are not our results. I am not my results. We are all human for feeling all the feelings. Yes, we need to go and acknowledge all the feelings that we have, because that's what the outcome is with the different circumstances, different environment, different people that come in and out of our lives. I used to think, feelings are, there's good feelings and then there's bad feelings. And I'm really actually learning it as well. When it comes to my teenagers, the older ones, his feelings, I used to go, don't feel this way, don't feel that way. Or, I'd say things like, oh, don't worry, it'll pass. When in actual fact, I should go, oh, it sucks, doesn't it? It sucks that you're feeling that way because of this and that. So acknowledging it is first important step of moving, and overcoming it. Okay, so I appreciate that. Jennifer says, treat yourself the way you would treat a friend. Exactly. It is a difficult thing, I know, for myself to be kind to myself, because again, it's been 47, 48 years, or most of my, let's say 38 years of my grown adult life, where I have internal chatterbox in my head that says, if things don't work out well, that I am a failure. No. If things don't work out well, that action may need to be changed. Right, so really important. And so it is a practice, because I've been doing it for all these years of not being kind to myself. So it'll take time for me to go and do it again, day in, day out. Be kind to myself. Erica says, maybe all our own best friends. That's right. write ourselves letters. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's quickly go back to the page. And so I've created little ones there, and then I'm just going to make these as little petals, leaves, sorry, little leaf, little leaf. So yeah, you don't have to be perfect, right? And then you can do little swirls here and there, little swirls, little swirls. Okay, all right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my 0.8. So I'm just going to do this freehand. The July free printable download has dotted grid. So you can use that as a guide to create a little border. And see? And then I made it go past that little spot because then I'm going to create this little, oh, it's a little bit harder to see when my hand's in the way. And then go here. And then go down here. And it's okay if it's not. I love that it's actually not straight, right? Because that creates its little character. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to just outline the J itself, just to make it pop on the page. All right, go around, make it go past that little point, so then it continues. See how I just did that bit there, so it continues. Go around, go around. Okay, now remember, you can grab this free printable download from my website at mariannecrest.com. And so if you want to create, oh, look at that. Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of that. What do you think? Let me know. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. Okay, so now the other thing, I could leave it as is, but I like to go beyond that just to make it even more, colorful. So just grab your marker and just create little dots along the empty negative space. I know sometimes though, when I go beyond, if I like something already as is, and then I go and keep going, then I might wreck it. The great thing with these Pilot friction pens is they're erasable. So if you ever make any mistake on your page, you can just erase it. So I've got the pink, and then let's go do some purple ones. Let's quickly have a look at what we have in here. 100%. Oh, hello, Irene. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me, Budgeting Mama. I appreciate you being here. Thank you, thank you. All right, so then we're going to go boop, 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 boop. So lots of boop, boop. And now, for those of you that go, Marianne, I don't have the time to be creating planner pages like this. Remember, embellishing your page in itself is a form of self-care. It's a form of being mindful. So remember, being mindful is not worrying about the past or worrying about the future. It's focusing on the present moment, focusing on the now. So, these little things of doodling, coloring in a cover page, it's your little time off. It's your little me time. So you might go, Marianne, that's 20 minutes of just creating cover page. Who's got time for that? You need to make time. Please trust me. It doesn't have to be the cover page. It can be, reading, knitting, crocheting, going out for walk the dog, just tinkering in your garden, tinkering in your shed, whatever it is that allows you to focus on some sort of project that has a clear start to finish. The clear start to finish in itself will give you those dopamine hits, sense of accomplishment, right? That you can see visually, a finished outcome. So doesn't have to be creating embellishing your planner pages if that's not you. But if you're here, right, we like to embellish our planner pages. So then that's my one there. What do we think? Does that look good? So let's quickly have a look. We have looked at how to overcome feelings of disappointment or inadequacy. We're going to acknowledge our feelings. We're going to reflect on the positive. We're going to look for learning opportunities and learning points. Reframe your negative thoughts. We're going to practice self-compassion. Now, each and every one of these, it may be hard for you, it may be easy for you, but it's okay. Make sure that you are nice and kind to yourself, and that you're not, this practice in itself doesn't give you any anxiety that or feelings of disappointment because you didn't get to think up everything from 1 to 5. Whatever you can do in the moment, and then keep practicing it. And you just don't do these little steps for just feeling of disappointment or inadequacy, for any type of thing. So if you want to have morning journaling as part of your habit and looking after yourself and your well-being mentally and spiritually, this is, remember, a form of mindfulness, right? So be kind to yourself. And then the last thing you can do is then you can set intentions for your day, right? So again, morning journaling doesn't have to be in the morning. You can do it in mid-afternoon. You can do it before bed, wherever it fits nicely within your routine. Do these journaling. So set intention for the day or set intentions for the next day. Conclude your journaling by making sure you have positive intention for the day. Focus on what you can do to make yourself feel better. What is it that you can do that'll bring you joy, that'll help give you some sort of sense of accomplishments, planning your planner pages like this, and also help you shift that mindset from dwelling on, the woulda, shoulda, couldas, and then looking forward to the next thing. What can you do? So in your journal, you can write, today I intend to do this. I'm going to focus on this, and will remind myself how great I am, how good, the positive things that I can provide for myself and provide for others. Okay, so now before I show you how I did this exact same 6 steps, make sure that you like this video, share it for anyone that you think that might be give value to, a friend. It's really will help my channel. And of course, if you are new here, why not consider subscribing and hit that bell to get notified of when I upload new videos and when I come on live here, so I can chat to you in real time in the chat section. So let's quickly have a look. Lauren says, seriously, decorating my planner is very zen for me, right? And go please follow Jewish Planner Mom Lauren. She uses my wellbeing planner page in her planning setup. So I really, really appreciate that shift from didn't to will. Exactly. Now, Erica says, that's part of why I show up every week regardless of my mood. I know planning is self-care. That's right. And it takes it to the level to do it in a supportive community such as this. Exactly. And I feel it when I don't plan the day, and when I don't embellish my page, when I don't surround myself with like-minded people like you guys. I feel it, So this, as much as it is that I hope is inspiring and give ideas to those of you that are watching me, it actually gives me more. It provides so much more love and support for me. And seeing your chat and seeing your comment section, I've been doing some screenshots of lovely feedback that I've been getting, and so I just need to give a shout out to Irene. If you're still here, Irene sent me a lovely video where she's going, I thought of this, and when I saw this, I thought of you, and it did. And it was like a warm hug coming through from my phone. So it came at a fantastic time. So I appreciate that, Irene, and all the love and support that you guys give. So likes, shares, and subscribe are the things that will help my channel. And then, of course, that, tells me that I'm doing a good job. So I appreciate that. Now, let's quickly show you how I implemented this exact same thing in my morning journal. So let's have a look. So this is my Midori. I think this is in the A6 grid notebook. And I just this is the A6 cover page. It's a Midori brand as well. So there's Midori. Does it show? Yep, that's the made in Japan. So I've used this as a. Now I did have my morning journal in my Hobonichi A5 size, in my Hobonichi cousin or original. But what I found, when it's dated, again, there's that feeling of disappointment that if I miss a date and then leave it blank, so see, I'm still working through my own those own feelings of inadequacy. So because this is a blank page, then I can, if there are any missed days, no one would be the wiser, or I wouldn't know, because then, I just put today's date. Now these here are made using my Make ID label maker, so it's in the description. So all items I have shown in today, please check my description for my Amazon storefront link. So then I just put the date. I'm trying to not to stay on one page, just in case there's some inner thoughts that I may not want to share. So I go and write, and then so this is the day that I felt I have covered the page, because of course there's some thoughts in there that I want to just keep to myself. So let's quickly have a look. Acknowledge my feelings. Technically, I'm not crying about it, but actually I did cry about it later in the day, but which is good, because crying is therapeutic, right? So here's acknowledging my feelings. Technically, I'm not crying about it, but close enough, a bit bummed out. Right. And then I said why and all the events that led up to it. Okay. And then the next thing, reflect on the positive. I did well in. Right. So then I listed out all the things that I did well in. And then the next one, look for learning points. I am quite proud of blah, 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 or the things that I did to accomplish that action. And so I'm proud of my effort. The positive outcome is, so reframe your negative thoughts. So looking at the positive. So I'm proud of my effort, the positive outcome. Look at all these lines that I've covered up, all the positive things that I took away from that feeling of disappointment at the beginning. Right, let me just quickly, all right, at the beginning. And then practice self-compassion. I know I did my best. Okay, I know I did my best. And then my effort, all the effort that I have accomplished. And then here is practice self-compassion. Remember, writing yourself a little letter. Marianne, I'm proud of you. You did a great job. It is quite disappointing, I know, right? So acknowledging my feelings, that's okay. See, I'm talking to myself. We can look at this as a learning experience, and then what it is that we can learn from it. And then the thing is setting it for intention. So now that you know you did all you can, let's work on the things we can control and look forward to the fun bit of planning out our content calendar. Do you see that? So that's that last one, setting intention for the day. So I did that in my own journaling, covered the few sensitive things that just for my own, right? So because no one else is going to read your journal or your planner, you can be really, really what's the word? As honest as you can, and don't judge yourself. Swear as much as you can if you want to swear as well. Okay, so that is how you can turn your feelings of disappointment, inadequacy, or any other emotions that are similar, is journal it. Acknowledge what are the learning points, turn your negatives into positive, be compassionate, be kind, and set intentions for the day. Let me know in the chat, or of course, if you are watching on replay, if this has been valuable, if this is something you already do, or if this is something that you're going to start doing. So you may not be able to do all 6 steps, but just doing one thing at a time is in itself a great accomplishment. Okay, so let's quickly have a look. So today, while we were setting up our July monthly cover page, we have been able to share with each other ways in we can turn feelings of disappointment, inadequacy into learning opportunities, and giving ourselves a big pat on the back for the things we've accomplished, right? So make sure you don't have to have these sort of journals. Just grab any exercise book or workbook that you can find. You can be messy in it. You can just write away, whatever. It doesn't have to be pretty, but it's always nice to have pretty things, right? So before I go, I just want to share this little positive affirmation with you. Let me see. Where is it? Okay. I am proud of what I've done and accomplished, and I am worthy regardless of setbacks. Each experience is a step towards my personal and professional development. So look for positive things in your day. It may not be related to the action that you're feeling disappointed with, the smile on your children's faces. You got to, you didn't go eat the bag of chips that you wanted to. You got to go out for a walk, right? So create positive things, because the more you look for positive things, whether it's through gratitude journaling or through writing down wins of the day, the more you look for those things, the more you will spot them. So before I go, let's have a look. Are pretty things also self? Yes, pretty things are self-care. That's why it takes me so many times to always redo my background, because see how, Erica, when you said things, sometimes you've tried things over and over, and then it's lost its effectiveness. My background here, is sometimes I go, Marianne, things are already looking great. Why do you change things up? Because I need to get those new things, newness. That's why we always get shiny new things. All right, so make sure, check the description for a link to my free printable download. So if you haven't signed up yet, make sure you do at mariannecresp.com. And if you have already signed up prior to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, check your inbox, because the link for the July monthly cover page is there. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining. Bye, everyone.